Welcome back to Non Niche. This is Raquel, and this is a special episode, and we are talking about branding. Branding, it's all over your TikTok, it's all over your Instagram, whatever social media. It is talking about branding. And I really wanted to get into it on Instagram because, well, and YouTube. But I think it's very important as artists and creatives because I think our branding is a tad bit differently, and that's just something that I've noticed. And again, all these are my personal experiences, things that I've personally picked up. I have Non-Niche, my personal TikTok page, Non-Niche. On my TikTok, I have a Take Two show that I'm doing, and in my personal Instagram. So I'm like running 5 pages. And mind you, I'm still trying to get used to it. So don't judge me on my followers because, there's certain things that I'm leaning more into so I can, get certain things to work on themselves while I can focus on something else. And also, it's good to, figure out your strengths and weaknesses and ask for help. So, this is why I wanted to do an episode about branding. Who are you? That is number one. So if you have a product, let's say you're an artist or you're selling something, what is your product and who are you? Because that's what you're going to convey every time you post something, every time you talk about something, because that's what question for everybody as a being. And and if you're trying to come out on social media with your product or what you do or who you are. And I always say start off with your personal brand. So that's where it comes from. Like, who are you? Like, you're a creative, whatever. You gotta define, like, have like a very good concrete definition of who you are. And yes, that takes time. I'm like, who are you and what do you want to convey? Because that's a brand that's how you work around your brand. Because if you know who you are, you know how to like promote yourself. And that's what marketing is typically promoting yourself and and whatever your product is. So yes, you've got to find out who you are. Like for me, I am out of the box. That's why I call it non-niche. And my personal brand, I always wear gold most of the time, or I wear like this necklace, and I'm funny, and I use my hands when I talk. So if you can see that, yeah, just having those typical "Who are you?" questions, and I would just say have five strong bullet points of who you are. That it's basically cut to the center, no fluff. And when I say no fluff, don't be like, oh, well, I'm this. No, I am. And then that's your answer. You need to have concrete bullet points of who you are, because if you kind of have it open ended, it's going to be a little bit more difficult to have that growth on whatever platform that you're trying to convey. So let's say who you are is a person who sells hats. So what type of hats? What fabric are the hats? What makes you different from any, fabric company who makes kind of the similar hats? Like, you have to figure out what makes you you and how you're different from the other competition. And then what is your product? Really go deep down into it. Like, why did you, one, create your product? Two, like, did you look up the consumer need? Did you find a need while you were like in the market? You're like, hey, nobody's focusing on this point, let me create it. Or what makes, a lot of things right now for hair growth, it's just like, okay, I have a hair growth oil. What makes me different than the other 15,000 hair growth oil, competition out there? I think that's very good to know, and to know what your what is. Because if you don't know your what, how are you going to get that conveyed to your audience? And let's say you have a talent, like if you're a singer, show off little clips of your songs and, your events, because people are intrigued, especially like if you're on the come up, because everybody likes a come up story. Like, before people get big, anything, they like to be like, oh my God, I followed her in the beginning and she hasn't changed, or he, whatever, she, they, them. I really have to watch out for that. I like everybody. Don't get me wrong. But no, like, know your talent, be confident in your talent, and then show it off to the world, but you have to be consistent with it. And then how are you going to monetize and build traffic? So here's the pickle. You have to, one, factor in profit. That's just straight business. If you're looking to make money off your talent, you have to figure out, one, how to price your services, product, whatever. Two, what makes it good enough where it still beats the competition. So let's say you're trying to sell this certain product. Okay, I would look at the competition's analytics and see, like, okay, like they have a price point between maybe $8 to $15. So you want to stay in that range and maybe a little bit lower, like in the mid, where it's still competitive, but also you have to figure out your break even. That's math, and I'm not very good at it, but you need to know your own personal break even, because you don't want to be giving your stuff away. We love to give free stuff. Everybody loves free stuff. We do. We love free stuff, and like free, like valuable things. We love that. Like, this is free information. I'm giving this for free. But Non-Niche is a free platform. Like, I would love to take donations if you want to, kind, and be a blessing to, be a blessing to others. That's what we're here for. But I digress. If you're trying to monetize your work, make sure that you're looking at the other competition, not just be like, to see what they're doing, but just to check the prices, because you want to see the variety and range. Because one, you don't want to be like, I have the lowest price of the hair growth oil, but you're losing more money because you're trying to have the lowest price and you're still not breaking even or even getting a profit. So watch out for that. And then networking. Networking is the beyond biggest thing you can do for your business or product, whatever you're doing. Networking is just huge. You have to talk to people, strangers. I know, stranger danger. Talk to people in your field, because sometimes you can share knowledge. Sometimes you can even ask questions if they're willing to share, or sometimes you can I roll up in people's DMs all the time. If there's not an email present, I'm going to be in the DMs and be like, hi, I have a question. I would love to email you and talk to you further about yada yada yada. I mean, half the time, that's how I met you guys. I slid in your DMs where I saw, I went to your email. But no, you have to talk to people, and you have to, and I'm not going to lie to you. I am naturally introverted. Can you tell? I don't know. I'm a naturally introverted person. So I think I've developed a good balance when I've gotten in theater and acting. So I can like balance between the two, but I'm a naturally introverted person. But I have to talk to people, and I have to put myself out there. And that's something that you also have to do as well. You have to network. You have to, even if it's like your neighbor or a friend that you meet on social media, and be like, oh my gosh, we're doing the same thing, and maybe do like a collaboration, helping the person next to you. And if they've been in the game for so long, you can learn so much. You're going to have to talk to people. You're going to have to reach out and like, well, hey, like, I just want to ask you a question. Like, how did you do this, this, and that, and the other? Like, you're going to have to do that. And I'm sorry to tell you, it's more fear in your head than the actual action, because no should not be scary. It's just like, okay, well, that person didn't want to help me. That's fine. On to the next one. But no, networking in the field of where you want to grow is very, very important. So I'm going to start with that. So let's start with Instagram. Instagram growing, and I've been researching like on TikTok too, like how to grow, how to monetize, and but we want to focus on growth and building traffic to your platform. So on Instagram, let's take that first. I've noticed that Instagram will push a platform if they know that you're real. Like, there's so many spams out there. Let's be real. Like, like it's kind of crazy how many spam accounts are out there on social media. So you really do have to be careful. But I would basically just post without posting, like, on my feed. Not I'm not talking about stories, shorts, whatever. I'm talking about on my feed. I would typically post, and without paying money to boost it, there would be, like, right now I don't have the funds to actually put money into the platform to, like, boost my posts, because that is very helpful. I'm not gonna lie to you. That's how a lot of people are getting their stuff. They're making, I mean, that's why you have social media managers, marketers, whatever. They have a set budget to post and promote their work so it can be, like, pushed out to the algorithm. So there might be, when you go down on my profile, there might be like a ton of eyes on my stuff. And it's because I use money, and I still think Instagram has, like, the best pricing for that, in my opinion, from what I've seen. The best pricing to promote my work, when I did have the funds for it. And it got a lot of eyes on it. And that's what you want. You want people to see your stuff and have something engaging. So, for short, I would just go into um, creating a budget for yourself for social media, and then, push yourself, out, um, with promoting yourself and paying for that. So set out a financial budget for that, just for, like, your social media. And I think that's very important. Two, one thing I've noticed that I've gained organic traffic to my post is when I go to, how it's like the For You page on Instagram. I go to, like, the feed, and I pick certain genres that I personally vibe with, and that also aligns with non niche. I would support other people. I did. I supported other people. I liked and I comment and I engage with other comments. Instagram is an algorithm that needs to know that you're real. You can't just be posting stuff and then they're just like, I'm not gonna push that. I don't know if that's real or not. It's the algorithm. To be completely honest with you, it's the algorithm, the robot, whatever you want to call it. You have to go, and I do that for maybe 15 to 20 minutes to, let Instagram know, hey, I'm about to post. I'm a real person. And it also brings people to, like, my page, so they be like, oh, who's this person? So that kind of, it kind of builds to traffic and also builds engagement, because you're just like, oh, I'm interested in seeing, like, who left this lovely comment on my page, and we kind of do the same thing. I love it, and I will follow. So I would do that, and then I will post. I'll either post a story, but most importantly, I will post on my feed. So let's say you're posting a reel. I would leave that off my feed. So for a while, there was a time where I was trying to gain all these interviews, work on the brand non niche itself. I took and repurposed some videos and interviews, and I made it a little bit different, and then I posted it on my feed. I tried not to do it on my homepage of the feed. I just did it on my reels. So I created more reels, and that also built traffic. So I'm posting every day, that it's scheduled time, and I don't have to worry about, like, not posting, because when you don't post, it kind of throws off the consistency, and that's also very important. But we'll go into the consistency later. But I'll post after 15-20 minutes of engaging in somebody's platform, or different people that kind of is similar to what I'm interested in as a brand. And then I'll post. And I kind of stopped using, maybe, I kind of stopped. I think I was at 10 hashtags, but I think now I use, like, between 5 and 7, to be honest with you. I think that's really helpful, because I did not, like, I used my brand name, I used the category name as well, even though it's hyperly saturated. But you have to figure out, do 3 saturated topics, and then I would say 2 of a topic that caters more to you and to the field of what you're trying to be in. So let's say you're selling skincare. I would do soft girl era skincare. A lot of people are doing like a lot of holistic skincare. So if that's like in your field, I'll add that as a hashtag. And then don't forget to engage into like the skincare industry, holistic, whatever floats your boat on that before you post your post. And then you post it and then you engage 15 minutes to 20 minutes in that same field of those hashtags. That's how I started, gaining a little bit more followers, getting a little bit more traction to let one, Instagram know that I'm real. And then also two, I'm getting people to come back to my page and like, oh, this person left a wonderful comment. They are a real thing. They're not a bot. And I know this next topic is going to be a hard one. And I'm sorry. I am sorry. But it's consistency. I know it's a hot topic, but I'm going to be honest with you. Consistency does matter. But here is my take with consistency. Consistency lies in the life phase that you're in. Like my consistency and your consistency are going to be two different things because one, we're two different people. Two, we have different things going on with our lives. Now, for me, I'm a little bit more consistent on my personal page on TikTok because one, I want to go live on TikTok and monetize, um, Nanish. But and then I'm also consistent on working on getting interviews for Nanish to bring you more entertainment and then also, healing, inspiration, all that jazz into this. So honoring the artists and storytellers and getting everybody's story out. That's what I want to do. Um, but my consistency varies. So if I'm going through a stressful time, I do my best to post maybe 4 times a week. And that might just be, one every day or I might be two a day, but I always set a time like a day out to film. And I've noticed that kind of worked for me. So let's say you want to post once for a whole week. I would take time to have a product that's already populated. Here, let's start here. I would take time, let's say you have a product. I would do your favorite products. I would have 5. I would do content around those 5 products that's either your best selling or coming out or whatever. I would use those 5 products, create content, shoot some reels, take some photos, do some voiceovers, like change it up. And then also that gives you enough footage to repurpose. So when I have an interview, I take clips, like hot clips where I know somebody would be like intrigued to watch it. Um, I would take clips, and that would give me out of one interview, I would say maybe 5 to 10 clips for sure that will help build engagement. So that will give me like a huge chunk to post throughout the week where I'm like not rushing to post and burning myself out because you want to watch out for the burnout. I know it's bad. But no, that's where you also, need to watch out for your consistency because when you stop for a while, it does dwindle. I try to stay off social media Saturday and Sundays because I love unplugging. I'm not gonna lie to you, I love to unplug. But when you're trying to build traction, you kind of have to make a strategic plan on getting your content out. So let's say, like for take two, I was a little bit slacking, just a tad, just a tad. Take two for my show. I dedicated a whole Saturday because I had backed up stories to tell. And I made like an episode list. I'm like, okay, episode 5 or whatever episode I'm on. And I just went and I said the title and stuff. And I knocked it out in the day. And I still have to edit, but I edit on Sundays. So today is Sunday, and that's what I'll be doing. as well as editing this, of course. But no, you have to make a schedule, but make the schedule where one, it doesn't cause burnout. Two, you can, have enough free time because, like I said, everybody's life is different. So you can't look at somebody who has no kids, full time influencer, get paid, it looks differently, than everybody. So do what you can and then make personal goals to like grow. So let's say, like, okay, I'm going to push for, 5 more videos, or, doing a different technique. So just give yourself some slack, but also make sure you stay motivated. So consistency, remember, looks differently than everybody, but you also have to make the conscious choice to make those forward movements, make those goals for yourself. Like, I need to do at least 5 videos. So I'm going to take the day, shoot my products, show off my talent, and repurpose. And remember, like, you also have stories too. I know when I first started Nani's, I used to load my stories up on Instagram. It was kind of bad. And you were just like, I can't look at everything. She's always posting stories. And now I do at least like 5 to 6. I just love stories because it's quick. People can look at it. But if you have so many stories, people are not going to look at your whole thing. So make sure be mindful of how much you post on your stories and make them look fun. Sometimes you want to switch it up in your feed. In my opinion, that also has helped. Like, I will post something that's not a repost. Like, if it's something that I created that I'm talking about, like, on my homepage, I'll make it look completely different than in the same family of style on my story. So it's just like, oh, okay, let me look at that. So I try to draw your eye to different things. And that's what you want to do because it keeps people engaged. Like, I will talk to you about, this branding video. I didn't give you the whole thing. I gave you snippets in a post or a story, but I'm leading you back to my YouTube because I want you to get all the information. Because let me be honest, typing all this out for the birds. Even though I love writing, don't get me wrong. I'm just being completely honest with you. But no, your consistency reflects you and in your life phase. So don't look in somebody else's lane and be like, oh my gosh, they're posting like every hour on the hour. They probably repurposed some of the videos. They probably reposted their viral video. You don't know what these people are doing. Just stay in your lane and you'll grow too. Okay, one thing to think about is your SEO, search engine optimization. Basically like your keywords. The one place that I think really, really helps for growth on Instagram is Google Trends. I know. I would just like go, on Google, be like Google Trends, and then also like pick whatever product or genre that you're going to be talking about, category that you're going to be talking about, and title it in there in the search bar, and it'll list like all the keywords. What's like doing well. Sometimes we'll even post like the analytics of it. It's kind of like Pinterest. I don't know if you are on Pinterest, but they also have Pinterest trends, and you can see what keywords are building, their stats, their analytics, and how much growth they're doing, and what season goes where. So I will also look into that. And then also, if you are a creator that goes with the seasons, like, you also have to know that you have to do you always have to be ahead of the season. You can't shoot within the season that you're working on. You have to be ahead. So like, we're going to fall and winter, you need to start shooting for spring, summer. So when it's spring, summer, you need to do fall and winter. So I just want to add that in because that's also very important to build your analytics and then also build traffic to your brand on Instagram, TikTok, any kind of statistical platform on social media. You need SEO. The next part of branding is storytelling. Storytelling is the top conveyor from what I have seen in basically growing your platform. Now, when I talk about storytelling, that could be interviewing. Like for me, like you'll see like a lot of interviews. You'll see, marketing of different artists that I've interviewed with, and I'll tell you a story, and I give snippets of quotes, and then lead you up to the actual interview. And then you also just have people who grow and tell their stories of their life. Now, I'm not trying to put all my business out there. I'll give you glimpses, but that's on my personal page if you're not following that. And then you also have storytelling where nobody's talking. It's just the product and the fancy music, and it's aesthetically pleasing. So I would think about like what your talent is, or what you're trying to put out, what you're trying to sell, what you're trying to grow with, like your personal brand. I would think about what type of storytelling that you want to show. And remember, it needs to be consistent. So let's say you are a creator who has a product, and you don't want to talk about anything, but you want to have like enchanting visuals. So it's going to be weird when you do that for like maybe a month, and then all of a sudden you start doing voiceovers. I would not have that on your feed. If you want to do like voiceovers or something like that, I would leave that in your story, because you just want snippets of that. Make sure you stay consistent on how you want to storytell on your feed. That's personally how I am. Now, if you do not have a niche like me, hi, how are you? Storytelling is a little bit different. I am the same personality. Um, Whenever I am promoting an interview, my storytelling is basically all about the artist. So I'm consistent with the artist's aesthetic. I'm consistent with what their story is, who they are. And, if you look at it, you can see like basically it matches them. So I don't veer off and put, what I think they should look. It's a reflection of the person that I'm interviewing. So it's consistent for three. So I always do like three major posts on my home feed. And then I also have this aesthetic where I do different stories. Like it might be like two or three, just to promote the interview. So I would watch out for storytelling, see how you want to share your stuff, product, and also if you want to be in front of the camera, that's also storytelling, because I'm here talking to you, and my body language, what I wear, how I talk, the visuals, like lighting. That's very important. That's also adding on to storytelling. So I would just look into that. Do you want to be on camera? Do you want to model your stuff? That's something you have to think about, because, you know, like I said, I'm a natural introvert, but here I am pushing myself talking to you guys on the internet. But no, it's quite important, and I would just look into that. Storytelling is important, but it needs to be consistent with your brand. So I would come out with maybe two or three examples of how you want to, tell and show off your product, talent, whatever, and pick one, and then maybe switch it up in the stories a little bit. So these are my branding advice, and I hope you enjoy. If you want like an analytical analysis of your personal page, I would love to do that. Just let me know. But these are my points. These are what I've personally noticed on Instagram. I will also add in TikTok if you want to, but we'll see how this video goes. But I appreciate you for, letting me live my dream, an idea that I had, and getting to know you guys has been a true blessing, more than you could ever know. I'm very grateful for the people that I've met, and some that I can actually call my friends. And I'm here to support you and get your story out. So if I can come up with tips to help you grow personally and you're struggling, I'm right here. So thank you again for joining Non-Niche. This is the episode branding. And my name is Raquel, and I'll see you next time.